Hey, good morning, everyone. Well, I hadn't talked to some of you in a while. We came home from the Philippines and we had a lot of stuff to do. I enjoy traveling the Philippines. I enjoy living in the Philippines when I'm there. But I'm still a Texas boy and I have responsibilities back home. And namely, one of them is taking care of the cattle. My father had been around cattle his entire life and stepped in and out of it numerous times during his life. But back in the late 70s, early 80s, he decided to step back into it again. And when he did, he started out with a F1 cross, which is basically you're going to breed two different species together and get their first cross from that and then breed forward with that. Well, he started out with a Brahma bull and some mixed heifers that showed a little bit of Angus maybe in them. Some of them, I mean, they were kind of mixed up Motley Crew. There was some Jersey. There was different things. Not a full-blood Jersey, but mixed in it. And that showed to be more of an experiment than it did to be a lifelong goal to be committed to that kind of herd. So from there, he moved on, dropped the Brahma bulls and all the problems inherent with that, and we moved forward to a red limousine. Now that red limousine was really good. It was. There's no doubt about that at all. And we realized it was time at that point to upgrade on cows. So we started getting more of the Black Angus cattle and getting rid of some of those Motley Crew that we had and changed over to that. Then Dad decided for us to go to a full black herd, full Black Angus, black limousine. So we ended up with multiple herds. He ended up leasing property. We bought property. And I worked this with him the whole time. From the time I was a kid on, I mean, sleeping in trucks and field at night, delivering calves from heifers that was their first offspring. And man, what a ride. But I was right there with him for every bit of it. My brother, he chose a different path and he was out doing other things. So, through the years, I dealt with my father. Now, I tell you, that wasn't an easy task. He was a strong-minded, bossy, he was just a tough old farmer. And there wasn't no way but his way, period. Even if he was wrong, he was going to be right, and that was that. But you know what? He was still overall pretty successful. But towards the end of his life, the cows became more of a hobby instead of something profitable. He started overfeeding them. They actually got obese. More money was going out than was coming in by a long shot. He handed them over to me to take control of a couple years before he passed away, which is something I think he probably should have done about 15 years prior to that. And we've been pretty successful with him at this point. We looked over at the things that he was doing and the waste. There was a lot of waste, and we're still trimming waste. And we've got it now where we're in the black, not in the red by a long shot. It was a sad ordeal the way it was at the end, man. These guys, these fertilizer companies, these feed companies, man, they get you like a crack dealer, get you hooked on buying stuff and making you believe it's the only way to go. That is just absolutely overkill and nonsense. Absolutely. And now there is some things you have to have. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. And another thing, my father, he died of Parkinson's. And there's no Parkinson's that was running genetic in our family. They checked in on that. And I was with him at the neurologist. They said they had a study that found that men in his age group that were farmers and they asked him some questions there, questionnaire about herbicides, insecticides, and all. Things on the cows that he's using, sprays and treatments and all that he had been exposed to. And they said he has slowly poisoned his own nervous system with years of these poisons. I can just remember endless amount of times that he would be so careless with that stuff and getting it on us and all too. And my mother and I and many other people that helped my father along the way really spoke out to him, which he didn't like, about it. Man, he would just spray on, spray on, spray on. And he has sold out the cab tractors years past, and he was just wanting to use an open cab tractor and be at one with nature. And he'd be out there running a sprayer and thinking, oh, I'll keep the wind, blowing in my face and the stuff will blow away. Well, you got to make turns. You're coming back. You're passing where you already been. It's all in the air. It's not just stuck to the leaves of the grass and all. And once again, he's poisoning himself. So that ended up being his demise. His nervous system failed. Parkinson set in and took him. So we're trying to take a different approach. We can't be 100% free of these things sometimes. I mean, what are you going to do if you got army worms wiping out a crop you just put in? But I'm in a cab tractor. And even in that, I bought a real good chemical respirator, boxes and boxes of latex gloves, lots of precautions, eye protection, and just being extremely careful, unlike he was, when you do have to use those chemicals. But here we are, and I'm here in Texas. We've been here since February the 4th, and I'm preparing for hay season. We've worked cows. We fed cows. During the winter here, you have to feed them. For you people that are my viewers overseas in other countries, we're a seasonal place here, and we have a winter that everything dries up and dies, unless you do have some winter grass grazing. So, your animals, they're at your mercy for feed at that time, especially if you have quite a few running on a piece of property. So that's what we've been here doing. It's been enjoyable. I've enjoyed it quite a bit. For years, I've missed some parts of the springtime going to the Philippines. It was my dad's operation at that time, and he handled a lot of it, and he contracted some things, and he really enjoyed it on his own, and I can kind of see that because I've been enjoying it on my own with my wife and I. But he chose to leave me all this, and he put no strings attached. In fact, he suggested I sell off the cattle and just do hay only. But we've done the math. We've worked the math again and again and again. And we think we can balance both and still be able to go at certain times of the year and do a little bit of traveling around and enjoy this beautiful world, which was something that he let this operation lock him down, where he had no freedom and would never leave. And I know there's a consequence with leaving and leaving it in other people's hands sometimes. They're never going to watch after things the same that you would yourself. But life is short, and I'm not going to let this project imprison me at the same time. Nor am I just going to walk away from all the hard work and the beautiful things that my father left to me. And hopefully I can forward this on to someone that's dear to me and in the family that can enjoy this after my time expires in this beautiful world. So you don't get ahead in life just selling everything out and wasting it on toys and junk that just depreciate and break and go away. Man, land is just going higher and higher and higher, and I'm not hungry for the money. I'm not selling nothing. So that's just the way it'll be.